Hello, Homo sapiens. So today I have a game over here of Luis Ramirez de Lucena, and he was known as the second best player, unofficial second best player in around 1400s. So this guy over here is Ramirez, and this guy, which you don't know, is of course an anonymous player who played against Lucena, and this game belongs to him. He plays with the white pieces, and Ramirez plays with the black pieces. So let's move ahead with the game. He went with e3. Anonymous player went with e3, NN. We'll just call him NN. And here Ramirez replied with e5. So this is typically called as the Wand Cruz opening. A00 is the code. And then white goes for d4. Basically the aim over here is to gain the center because after black captures the pawn and then this pawn captures back, you get the center. White gets the center. Then Ramirez captures. Here, typically everyone, modern players would consider capturing with the pawn, but sorry, the anonymous player captured with the queen. So now here the typical engine move would be developing a knight, but here Luis Ramirez goes for a kind of a sort of a trap, a short trap. And that trap is after he pushes the pawn to d5 and the queen returns back, he develops his bishop to d6. Here, some people might think that this pawn is free and the queen can grab this pawn, but no, this is a trap because after queen grabs the pawn, black can go bishop b4 check, losing the queen. Only way to save the check would be placing the queen on d2, but then bishop captures and it is game over for white because white is a queen down. So this was a short sort of a trap played by Lewis. But instead of capturing the pawn with the queen, the anonymous player develops his knight. Knight to c3, putting additional pressure on the pawn. So there are two attacks on the pawn. Then black plays knight to f6. This is the same thing. Even though now if you go ahead to capture this pawn and knight captures, queen captures, same thing will happen that we discussed earlier. So white develops another knight. Pretty much equal game right now. Now bishop develops. So basically two attacks and two defenses. So everything is neutral right now. Bishop to d3, developing another bishop. Knight to c6, developing another knight. So this move, basically planning to place the bishop on b2, which would be a very strong bishop. After the bishop gets placed on d2, it would be aiming very strongly. And we'll know later in the game why it was very strong. But it was missed by the anonymous player. So h3 to possibly to prevent this knight from coming over here and thinking of something like fried liver attack. Bishop gets developed to d2. Queen and bishop pair. Queen to d7 is Lewis hoped for a queen and bishop pair battery, sort of a battery to strike over here on the king side. If white castles on the king side. Same idea by the white pieces. Black long castles. Now it is clear that black wants to attack on the king side totally with the pawns, with the knight, with the bishops, and the queen, with supports of light squared bishop, and the rooks as well, possibly in the future. So these might be the ideas. for black. White castles on the king side. Now this is something very risky. So black immediately starts pushing the pawns. Here, actually, white goes for knight e1 so that he can counterplay here with the pawn. He can counterplay black's pawns with white with his own pawns, that is white pawns. But the best move here for white would have been knight to b5, and computer says this is the best move because this attacks the bishop. This the knight is even hanging, so the bishop aims on the knight, which would give a fork on the two rooks, and it would be a very strong attack. So after this move, if in the first instance we go a6, then knight captures, queen captures. Of course, we can't do this because this would be a blunder. So rather than this, the best move, one of the best moves would be bishop e7. Why? It also prevents the knight from capturing the bishop, and it saves the knight too from the bishop. Then knight e5. This will be an oral game. This would have been equal for both sides. If after knight to b5, I went I went queen e7 to save the knight. Then white can go knight captures, and then if black captures with the queen, same thing. Bishop captures and gives a fork. But if rook captures, then the best move here would be bishop to a3. We can't move the rook. The rook is pinned, and white would easily win material. So here the best reply would have been pawn takes, c captures d6. Then the game would be sort of advantageous for white. So, but in the game, as we know, it was played knight to e1, then h5, continuing the pawn storm on the king side. This is the pawn storm. So now white tries to do some counter attacks. Lucina plays g4 to open up the position. Although this knight is hanging, after this pawn captures, rook can easily grab the knight. But let's see what happened in the game. He rejected the pawn trade and he went ahead with the pawns. So now even Lucina went ahead with the pawn storm. So now this is the first sacrifice of the game where white plays f5, an attack on the bishop. The pawn has two attacks, which is the queen and the bishop, but it is also supported by the rook and the bishop. That is two defenses. So we actually cannot capture that pawn or grab that pawn. And but the bishop is trapped. The bishop can't even move anywhere else. So maybe this was a plan by Lucina or it was a mistake. I'm no one to judge. So Lucina plays pawn to h3, trying to open up the position on the king side totally. Now this is the final finale of the opening of the position. Pawn takes on e6. You see, the bishop has been captured. Now there is an attack on the knight. There is an attack on the queen. So any natural player would have captured the pawn with the queen. But Lucina went for another sacrifice. Sacrifice number two. Bishop captures h2. Bishop captures h2 check. Now it is a check. Therefore we cannot capture the knight nor can we capture the queen. So king captures on h2. Two sacrifices have been made in the game so far. Two sacrifices. Now black plays pawn captures on g2 check. H pawn captures on g2, so this is a discovered check that from the rook. So the king has to move somewhere or grab the pawn. So king grabs the pawn, and now black plays queen to d6, bringing the queen into the game. So white plays rook to h1. Now this is not the best move over here because after rook captures, king captures, black can play rook d to h8, bringing his rook into the game. Now it is going to be very tough for white to defend all of this, but according to the modern engines, white can easily defend it if he plays correctly. So king to g1. Now queen to g3 check. Knight defends, and now black plays knight to e5, bringing his another knight into the game. So the knight would possibly jump over here and give a check, and three pieces would be attacking on the king side. Black's three pieces. As you can see, black's queen, rook, and the knight are doing an active job rather than the white's pieces, which are the bishop, knight, and this rook, which are doing absolutely nothing. So even though black is material down, his material is active. His pieces are active. So to prevent a lot of attack on the king side, white plays queen to f2 to asking for a queen exchange. Of course, black is going to reject it. He gives a check. Black gives a check by playing h2. Lucina has given a check. King moves in. According to the computer, black should have played queen h1 check. But then this would have helped the white to escape. So Lucina played this very strong move. Try to guess this move by pausing the video. So the best move over here is g3 because now it attacks the queen. It is a very strong move. So of course the best move for the white's queen would be queen to g1. Sorry, queen to g1. This would this would be just game over for black because black is so much material down and black can do nothing to defend itself. Possibly it can develop as another knight as queen captures, and then king. It can create a passer, but maybe white could defend better than me. So this could have been played in the game, but instead white went greedy, and captured the knight on f6. This was game over for white because now Lucina played queen checks on h1, king to e7, and now queen captures g2, giving a check. So now here white resigned. This game dates back to 1497. As you can see, this is a very old game. So at the time there was not much theory. The of first existing book was written by Ramirez, so there was absolutely no theory. So they played totally theoryless. So, but pretty good participation by both of the players and a very interesting game actually. So if you want the games, I have provided the games link in the description, and this is actually my study on leeches.org, Legends of Lucina, where you can check out this game too. So hope you guys like my video. I'll be making a video on the third unofficial best player in the world because I have not I can't find any games for the first official unofficial great player. So I've started with the second one, which is Lucina Ramirez. So now I'll go for the third one, which is Damiano, Pedro Damiano. So